Hey, did you see how I set you up last week? See what I did to him?
Oh, about the fish fry.
You haven't been watching?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little worn out about that stuff.
About Shawn Porter?
I'm just worn out
very
in
much
general.
about that guy. No, the whole every post that Terence has is about the fish fry. Everything that Errol says is it's fun. Like I get it, whatever. Also, I'm not sure if this was a purposeful thing, but it's also Shark Week this week.
That's what.
Which I feel like
shout out to Dane.
That might be some master marketing.
On the way here, talking about,
yeah.
Hey, it's beginning of Shark Week.
I saw a Shark Week ad pop up, and I was like, happy damned. I mean, there's nothing that favors the big fish.
And Crawford season is over.
Have they played on it?
No, it just started.
Just started. We'll see if
Carson's like, I'm over it.
But it is an interesting little tie-in, though. I thought that was interesting. But
man, this is the one, man. We've been waiting on this. Shawn almost effed this up twice. This is the fight, man. What else can you want for it? We've been. Coach Barry said he wanted it 3 years ago. I'm okay with it happening right now. To be honest, I think those guys did everything they did on their side to make the fight happen. Errol was a man of his word. Terence handled his business in the ring. We getting 2 undefeated world champions. No losses. Never lost. One guy's stopping everybody at 147. One guy's beating everybody at 147. Taking eyes. Did you ever take your eye?
Absolutely.
He almost did. He
no one did.
What was that shot at?
Slow yourself down.
Okay.
Listen.
You never really had major swelling.
He got cut.
Did you ever have major swelling in a fight?
Not
I don't
from
remember.
Punches.
Well,
not from punches.
Yeah. Headbutts.
Slow
Clearly.
down.
But did you ever have your eye ever swell shut or anything?
Listen, because when you say both of these guys is undefeated,
yeah,
these are like true undefeated. I'm not saying anything that we don't know.
Means, but
well, what it does mean is that neither of them know how to lose. Neither of them care to know how to lose. And I mean, we looking at a night that
getting comfy over here.
Yeah, because
we looking at a night that's gonna be unreal.
I lost my mic. I got too comfy.
We looking at a night that's just gonna be unreal. So let's get right to it. Okay. Holla at your boy. You want to embarrass me, huh?
Oh, I mean, we're gonna go right into
Shawn
it.
didn't forget that. Shawn didn't forget that.
Go over this couch or what?
Yeah, no.
I'll dump you.
You know, I will say.
No, because I'm gonna be an innocent victim.
Shawn and Kell Brooks, the biggest comparison in this fight.
And it's not a great comparison.
And I feel like I'm right there with Carson. It's not a great comparison. Kell Brook, obviously he was hurt. He suffered a broken face with Triple G. Then he went in with Errol. For the most part, he was beating Errol.
Yeah.
And gave Errol everything he can handle and more.
Close fight.
Great fight.
Yeah.
Great fight. Errol ended up getting a stoppage. He took a knee. Shawn Porter, Errol. Hell of a fight. I've never seen Shawn prepare for a fight in my life the way he did. Everything he got, everything he put into that fight. And I think that's that underdog role, maybe the ish talking.
Absolutely.
Everybody disrespected. I got disrespected being his friend from people. And I think everything motivated Shawn, and this was what Shawn worked his whole career for this moment. And I think that night, Shawn gave it everything he got. So in that night, we seen Errol be pushed to the limit, but never break. And that's the problem. You got a lot of people seen Errol being pushed to the limit in these 2 fights, but think about it, he never broke. At the same time, we never seen Terence Crawford get pushed to the limit. Maybe he's that damn good. Maybe he is. And he's passed the eye test 39 times? 39 times. With ease.
I was gonna say 45.
Yeah, but in the Kell Brook fight, I felt Kell Brook, with Terence, Kell Brook was shot.
He was cooked.
He's took in a Earl Spence beating, a Triple G beating,
Got
stabbed.
He hadn't fought at welterweight in 5 fights
Coming
or 3
down.
fights or something.
So that's the thing. And I take nothing from Terence Crawford. He did what he had to do, but Kell was getting off on him with the jabs.
Yeah.
If you notice, he was swollen up after 4 rounds. Threw a hell of a shot and Kell didn't know what the hell happened.
Yeah.
And he was out of there.
Which actually led to the best argument the PorterWay Podcast ever had. You remember how mad Shawn was about that?
Yeah.
The Shawn was like, why didn't Kell do something? I was like, dude, he didn't even know the fight ended.
I mean, he hit him with the shot, and my man goes all the way across the ring.
He literally didn't know the fight was over when it stopped. So that's why he didn't do anything, damn it.
So now to the part of Shawn Porter.
Yeah.
I'm watching the fight, rewatching the fight. First time ever.
Yeah.
Love my guy, know my guy. 1 round in, I said my guy ain't gonna win this fight. That's me rewatching the fight.
Yeah.
Did you try to put any money in on DraftKings that Shawn was gonna lose that fight? Last night. like an ESPN classic. Like,
this dude's an idiot, man. This dude's an idiot. It was points on the. Hey, shout out to Shawn. Shawn came out immediately and threw something big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shawn.
Sure did.
Yeah, he shot out immediately and got on his. But I felt there was moments when Shawn Porter can go Shawn Porter. Shawn never got on him. I don't know if it was the respect, the preparation. I can never speak for Shawn.
Yeah.
Know him, love him. I don't know, but go ahead. You're here.
Go to our Patreon right now. Patreon.
God, hell no. We're not doing that.
Yeah, no, it is important though. I'll co-sign
okay.
it. I don't like to co-sign Shawn, but I will in this case.
Right.
We are not going to release these 2 episodes until the end of next week, before this fight happens. But what you do see is you see me answer all of the questions that could be presented about both of these fights. I mean, at least to the best of our ability, your ability.
It was,
you know what I mean?
It was satisfactory to me.
Okay.
Like, it made sense to me.
So I'll speak from my I just didn't see Shawn give everything he got. I'll say it's one of those things where you speak about retirement, you're out the door already.
Yeah.
And Terence Crawford did what he had to do. I felt like Shawn felt like they had an agreement, and Terence turned it on, and Shawn wasn't ready to go to that level. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
From me watching that, because for the most part, I had it 5-4 at the time. I had Shawn down 1 round, but could have went anyway. And at the same time, I felt, controversial ending, stoppage, whatever.
Yeah.
Shawn would have got up and he would have fought, and it would have fought till the end. Who knows what could have went? Terence could have got on his ass. Shawn could have drew, because at that point, I mean, who knows what the score is? He could have came up, won the fight, tied, whatever. But I just felt like that wasn't a shame. That Shawn Porter with Spence never prepared the way that Shawn Porter ever again. That was never the same Shawn Porter. All due respect to you, I just felt like that moment, it was just, and maybe it's just the loss. This tough loss took so much out of you, just like, what was that worth? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he did a good job again. Go to the Patreon.
Breaking that down.
And I also assume there will be clips throughout the week. Shout out to Kid Hyphen. But yeah, he did a good job of breaking it down. That it was the factors that, because when we rewatched the fights, I had never rewatched it. He had never rewatched it, and multiple times in the Bud fight, we were both like, that fight's okay. Like, it was just kind of like, it's an okay fight. Like,
it was like
we weren't like blown away. Like the Errol fight, you're like,
yeah, it was
into it. Like that one, we're like, it's a good fight, but like it wasn't. And then, but
this all I felt.
He kind of explained. He explains why, going back to the conditioning that everyone talks about with the preparation when KP mentioned it, and why there was less aggressiveness offensively, which it was. I thought he broke it down pretty well.
And at the same time, I know you guys saying Bud hater at this point. I love the Bud. Bud is my guy. That is good.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It ain't his fault. What happened with Shawn, what happened to Kel, once they got up in there with him, he handled business.
Yeah.
And it could possibly, he can get up in there, who knows, and clean Errol up. Could be one of the easiest nights ever for him.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like it's going to happen, but Terence is that damn good. But I'm going to let Carson get on it right now. Because Carson's got it. I wish we can get behind the scenes of Carson and Crawford's
We can
arguments.
anytime.
But I'm going to let Carson get on it right now. We're going to let the man with the plan get in there.
Well, so the one thing I wanted to mention when you were saying, like, people saying Bud hater.
Yeah.
In a fight like this, there's going to be varying levels of your fandom of a fighter. But, like, the way I feel, the way you feel, the way Shawn feels, like, it is a 50-50 fight. Like, I think Errol wins.
Yes.
That doesn't mean... But there are definitely people on the spectrum of that are, like, diehard Errol Spence fans that they're going to be disrespectful to Bud. They think this, and this. There's going to be Bud fans the same. Feel the same way about Errol. Disrespect him. So I don't think there's, like... If I pick Errol Spence to win, which I do, I don't dislike Bud.
Yeah.
And I don't think he washes him. I don't think, like, a fight at this level... Like, it's 1A and 1B. I just think Errol happens to be 1A.
Carson,
like,
I don't know if me and you on the same thing. Only reason why I'm picking Errol, resume.
See,
That's it.
Yeah. I just think...
There's no other reason why I'm picking Errol.
I just think consistency. And also, my one issue with Bud is his definition of resume, because he says Shawn has a better resume, which I adamantly disagree with.
He had a hell of a resume.
He has a great... But let's also look up the word resume. Like, I think there's maybe some we need to open up the Webster's dictionary and look at what resume means.
No, but you just hit it. Consistency.
Yeah. Do we want to go? I know I floated out there and your communication was excellent. Do we want to go category by category?
No, there's really only like.
Or do we not even want? Do we just want to just break it down?
Break it down.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So
and go ahead because.
Yeah. So I think for me, and I mentioned consistency. So these guys are the best in the game, both of them. And I just think that Terence has highs and lows, where I think Errol just has steady. He's a metronome.
That's a hell of a.
So
that's a hell of a point.
So I think there's gonna be
a hell of a point.
So I don't gain that. So I think I was like, I made the point. What are you dapping Shawn for? But I'm looking at I think there's gonna be rounds, and we mentioned this. I don't know what one we were talking about it, but I think there's gonna be rounds where Bud has like a really flashy, great round. Maybe knocks Errol back. Maybe he has steps off the side, gets a great shot off. But I think those rounds will be here and there. I think every round's gonna be close, but I think Bud's rounds are gonna be flashier victories, where Errol is just gonna be steady Eddie, man. He's just so great. He's so fundamentally sound, where I just think he's just gonna keep on going. And the one thing you mentioned, and I know Barry mentioned it as well, with the switch hitting for Bud. When Shawn and I were rewatching the fight, I have no clue why he fights orthodox. I have zero idea. Like he comes out.
Start.
I would start southpaw immediately.
Yeah.
He has a better jab from the orthodox stance.
Okay,
I took your
fine.
point.
That's.
But I mean, I already made that point.
No, you didn't take my point.
Patreon.com/TPWP.
I didn't really want that up out there. Like.
Oh, what you think Errol's watching this and is like, what is Carson Merck gonna say about this fight? Errol, if you're watching this, I love you. Please don't listen to me. Don't take my word as gospel. But yeah, I think if anything, it's the jab and it's a different look. But like, he switched in the second round against you and never went back. So it's like, I don't know.
Switches in the second or third round.
It kind of is what it is. Like, I don't know. It doesn't do much for me. But I just don't think Errol makes as many mistakes as Bud. Not that Bud makes a ton of mistakes, but I think he's there to be hit, as Ant mentioned earlier. Yeah. And I just think Errol's just gonna be too much.
That's the one thing about Terence's game. Me personally, I think makes him special. The fact that he can be right there in range and seamlessly make the range for me. Yeah. And again, like I've never really seen the way it worked out with Terence. Yeah. Where it was like, I know my range and then it's gone. Yeah. I know my range and then it's gone, And he has the ability to do that. Take the range away, make it look invisible, and then he also has the ability to punch in between guys who are punching. You know what I mean? That's one thing, that's something else that I think is extremely crucial for him to do in this fight. And then the thing about it is you're not asking him to do something he's not capable of doing, you know? So
where do we think... what do you think? Go ahead.
I just got a statement.
A written statement?
Floyd Mayweather. No. That's something Floyd Mayweather say. Okay. He would say it, but he would never do it. Both these guys, if you make a mistake, you got to pay. Yeah. And they both, watching their film lately, they have flaws. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get up Errol Spence. Yeah. So Errol Spence is definitely heavy about lunging, extending. Yeah. He gets himself out there. And if you throw that shot with Terence Crawford, Shawn, you leave all this open.
Did you have this plan, by the way?
No. You had all this open. You will he's going to go to work, okay? Yeah. One thing about Terence Crawford, lunging, he's not the guy to lunge at.
Yeah, true.
Dennis Ugas, I mean, even with you, I think at times you made him pay when he lunged. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I know. He overextends at times. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the biggest downfall in Errol Spence in this fight, which could possibly get him knocked out. Mm. That's the biggest worry I go to about him. Mm-hmm. So that flaw in his defense, let's go to Terence Crawford's flaw on his defense.
So you did have this plan.
No, I did not have this plan. Terence Flawford. Think about crawfish and fishing. Yeah. Terence Crawford is there to be hit, man. He believes in Terence Crawford more than you believe in you. So he's on line to get hit. Yeah. He's there for the jab. He's going to get... Shawn is more of a jab. He's going to be hitting with power jabs on Saturday night. Has to get his head off the line, man. Has to do a little bit more than just believe in Terence Crawford. Otherwise, it's going to be a hell of a night. And that investment that Errol Spence is going to start... Because in the first 10 seconds, he's fighting. Yeah. I don't know if you guys noticed that. In the first 10 seconds, Errol Spence is...
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's fighting. Yeah. So... during that whole time, 8th, 9th round, that investment will pay off.
You already have banked the early rounds.
So it's just little things those guys need to work on defense. They ain't got. I would say the better defense would be Errol Spence.
Work on.
Yeah,
the work is done.
What?
You better get your head off.
Well, speaking of the work, that's where I was going to go. What do you think corner wise? Where do you think
Derek James?
I think I don't even think it's close. No disrespect to Bomac. I think Derek James is that good.
Yeah.
And Bomac, I'm like, he's a great trainer. Like,
I don't know how you really particular about working other people's stuff when it's time to fight. He was in Oklahoma last night.
Yeah,
are you okay with that?
The work's done.
I'm okay with that
point.
because the work is done at this
Okay.
So I'm okay
I had
with
the
that.
same thought. I was like, wait a second.
The dynamic is different. You know what I mean? And if my dad went, like Barry had to be there. If Barry Wade had to be there. Both of them had to be there. The whole team. If my dad went, the whole team got. So I was really, really, you're right, like really meticulous about those things. But I think when you truly look at it, and we'll go back to the fight with the Mean Machine. Mm-hmm. And they went to the corner several times, and it was like Bomac was quiet, and it was like Bomac was practically waiting on Terence to do whatever it was he was gonna do. And I remember I was like, yo, why Terence switch and put it on this dude? I'm like, switch and put it on this dude. I asked for about two rounds, and they went to the corner and said, well, yeah, Bomac said he's just filling it out. He gonna do it when he ready to do it. And it's like, no, you got to take charge. You got to give him instruction and make sure he implements that instruction, So we know Derek James. We hear that when they go to the corner, he's very, very precise and gives instruction and,
And I wonder if
adjustments.
What you mentioned, I was kind of thinking it as you were saying it about where I think there may be a discrepancy between Derek James and Bomac, where I think Bud maybe is more of a dynamic and instinctive fighter, where Errol is just very technical and very fundamentally sound. So maybe he doesn't need Bomac to be that because he is doing this all calculated in his head, maybe. I don't know. That's just something that popped in my head.
100%, because then when you look at it and you say, well, you say Terence can make adjustments on the fly. He's the most, adjustable fighter, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
That is due to his high IQ, his ability to just be instinctive and know what I'm seeing and do what I got to do. Whereas Errol, Barry just said it. Errol go back to the gym. Yeah. And he working. He keep working. So when they come to the gym with, or when they come to the fight with, I honestly think that they're coming to fight with this, and I think that there's subtle adjustments they're going to make, but there aren't going to be any big adjustments. I don't see Errol going from being an aggressive fighter in the first 3 rounds to all of a sudden catch and counter and draw him into you and see if we can change the dynamic of this fight. Those are like big adjustments, and those are things we've seen Terence do.
What do you think from a standpoint of experience? Obviously, they're both very experienced, Bud coming up different divisions. Do you think Errol has an edge in the big fight experience, whereas Bud may not?
At this point, I really do think that whatever Bud has not experienced, let's say hypothetically, there's 50 there on fight night, which I don't think that's even
50
possible.
Cent? Tony Yayo?
I don't even think that's possible. But let's say Errol or Terence has only fought in front of 20.
Yeah.
That's cool because this underdog mentality that I got, that's going to make up that other 30.
He's been the underdog his whole career, allegedly. Even though it's never once happened, but God love him.
Everybody, I think people just so much on Errol in this comparison, just because we didn't see Terence struggle. That's my biggest thing. But in boxing, sometimes you win. But do you guys agree sometimes you need your ass whooped in boxing? Not. I'm saying Floyd Madonna.
That way, not
Floyd with Cotto, he still won, but he got his ass whooped. He won the fight, but the war.
Yeah.
And that makes you a better fighter. Do you believe that? Because I feel like for the most part, Terence, Mean Machine.
There was a guy that said
the good part about Terence,
adversity makes champions was a phrase I picked up once.
Well, the good part about Terence is even though he's not a spoiled fighter. He's just a fighter who has just won and has continued to win. But he's not a spoiled fighter where we're going to put this specific style in front of you because we know it's going to make you look fantastic on fight night. Yeah. He just continues to win and ain't had his ass kicked. The ass kicking that I personally think Errol received was the car accident. I think the car accident is what improved Errol. Okay. I think people doubting Terence is what has forced Terence to continue to
That
get
guy
better.
is fueled that guy is fueled by doubt, man.
Yeah, so I mean, where Barry said he wished this fight had happened 3 or 4 years ago, you might be looking at a Shawn Porter versus Keith Thurman kind of fight, where it's still an amazing fight. But there's no telling what that fight would look like if it had happened. That fight happened in 2016. If that fight had happened in 2019, there's no telling what that fight would look like.
And maybe I'm missing something, but what has not stayed where it was at those years ago? Like, have you seen Errol drop off at all? Have you seen Bud drop off?
No.
If anything, I've seen both of them improve. So I don't quite understand that.
It'd be different if maybe one of them took a loss.
You have the narrative of the car accident being that loss.
Yeah, but like,
you have that narrative.
Neither of them took a loss. I didn't watch. I didn't watch. To be fair, sorry, Terence, I didn't watch him against Avanesian, but like, I don't think anyone was like, "Oh man, Buddy's slipping against Avanesian."
Yeah.
And then Errol in his fight with Ugas, like I didn't see that and was like, man, I don't know. Like, I think they're both at the best of their game. Yeah.
He had a moment.
His story about the mouthpieces was hilarious.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Which is also on the Patreon. I'm telling y'all,
He
go to
also,
our Patreon.
no, wait a second. He told that story. What are you talking about?
Hey, I'm like, y'all got Errol on Patreon?
But there's a better, there's a better version of that story on the Patreon.
Of him telling that
There's
story.
a better
That's
version of that story on the Patreon. Okay, that you didn't even see. So
doesn't make any sense.
Did you the one do the mouthpiece?
No, man. You got to go to the Patreon. Check it out.
I even got to go to Patreon.
Yeah,
I'm already unsubscribing.
But man, this is hell of a fight. My thing, how, like people say, obviously I got Errol, but man, I could see Terence knocking Errol the hell out. Over the top of the jab, hurting him. And if Terence hurts you, you're food. Ain't no way I'm going to give you a chance to sniff.
Yeah.
Hey, you're food.
Yeah.
That's what the counter shots and Terence being so damn good. And ring IQ, I edged Terence very slightly, but I feel like little things like that he can pick up on Errol and could get Errol out of here.
Is it a hot take that I don't think either of them goes down in this fight?
No. I mean,
because I feel like people are kind of like insinuating that they think one of them will go down at some point.
I'm just so ready for this fight.
But I don't think either of them goes down.
I'm good with a 50. I'm most likely I'm saying a 50-50 fight all the way to the end where we just getting moments where it's just like Sean's been in 2 fights where it was just all about moments, Sean.
Yeah.
It's like you got that one. I'm gonna get you back.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the walkouts are, to be honest with you.
Me and Sean talked about that.
Because
who going first?
I hope they come.
Well,
for
allegedly there's gonna be a coin flip.
Yeah.
Which,
That's what I told him.
They ain't flipped the coin yet.
I don't know when they'll do that. But
Yeah, I hope they both come with some fire.
Errol should walk second. Let's just be candid about it. But he is the A side.
He got all the belts. And
Again.
Another thing is, at 147, shout out to Terence. You only faced one champion. You know who that champion was?
Jeff Horn.
Errol Spencer faced Shawn Porter, world champ. You did his
Kell
Ugas, world champ. Kell Brook, world champ. You
Yeah.
faced Jeff Horn. Those guys watched by all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, I hope Errol walks second. But Bud, back to, I don't know what he came out to the Avanesian fight.
So he came out against Shawn.
Well, he did Shaka Khan against
Shawn?
Kell, which was great.
Okay.
And then he came out to I'm Bad, LL Cool J. Which at the time I mentioned, when Sean came out, I was like, damn, hell yeah. Then all of a sudden I heard I'm Bad, and I was like,
don't care. I'm
Muscle-
riding with my guy.
he said
He
muscle-
could have came out. Sean could have came out to Barney.
he said muscle bound man and put his face in the sand. I said, oh boy, we're in trouble here, boys.